We had some snow down here, right? Man, it wasn't as bad as they pretended it was going to be. What they wanted to do is give the economy a booster shot. So they put all this news on about this bad snowstorm. It was all right, but they gave it a booster shot. That's all they did. They gave it a booster shot. So everybody ran to the grocery stores. Everybody then bought all the water they could buy. Everybody then bought, and let me tell you something. Everything that they buying, we talked about it on the show with our good brother, Dr. Wesley Muhammad. How they got fluoride in the water and all of those stuff. That's another show. That's another show. That's another show. They just gave the economy a booster shot. And now the economy will be looking good for a little while. What's up, Victor Carter? So anyway, first and foremost, I passed the link. I got a few brothers that's trying to come in. I think the weather is messing with this link. Sending this link out to a few brothers so they can come in and join us. Because what we're going to talk about today, is we're going to talk about the Moorish Science Temple of America. I was talking to a few brothers and this week that had an idea Temple of America was, and it seemed like that idea was slightly flawed. And the good thing about it, they didn't take it personal when I began to express my concept of what the Moorish Science Temple of America is. Plus, when I go out and about, family, I go out sometime. I get out sometime, right? When I go out and about, right, I notice that people know me from way back. I'm talking about way back. You know, them type people. Way back, right? And what they do is they always give an indication that they're watching the show. And these people, my friends, my family, and those associates that I know from back in the day or whomever, they don't want to speak too much, I've noticed. Maybe it's the feds. Maybe the feds look like a boogeyman or something. I don't know. But anyway, I may have not seen them in a while, and so I get the impression that they don't understand or they don't know what more science is. So I know that sometimes we want to be super scholars. So all the super scholars, this ain't your show. All the super duper scholars, this ain't your show. Because the super duper scholars, let me tell you something about the super duper scholars. What they want to do is, Moors. Some of them be like it, some of them be like it. Check it out. This is how some of them do. Islam. Moors come out the word Mur. And Mur is from Lemuria. And Lemuria was when the land, I'm like, huh? And then some people say, well, what the prophet is trying to do is, he was trying to set us aside and set us apart as a nation. See, nationhood deals with NATO. And NATO, and I'm like, huh? So I thought it'd only be right if we begin to define what is Moorish Science Temple of America. Moors believe. I think it's only right. And then we got a lot of people. You know what I mean? In particular, that's right. I'm saying names because the brother keeps saying mine. You don't like it, I'm sorry, family, I apologize. But then we got people like Lord Abba that assumes the position of Supreme Grand Sheik. When only followers he got is on Facebook and on YouTube. 5. Anyway, he assumes positions. So people need to know what really is a Moorish American. Up jump the boogie. My brother Sharifi came in the building. Bring him in a minute. But yeah, hey family, I'm telling you this. Listen, please don't take this as an antagonistic, lower level firing shots. Point is, I'm only responding. My name has been called almost probably, I can't even count how many times this week. I can't count. But we need to define what is Moorish science so people will know who you're listening to. We need to know who you're listening to. What qualifies a person to teach Moorish science? You see, what makes a person want to assume the position without going through the vigorous grinding or going through the process of what it takes to be a supreme grand sheikh? Yep, fine shots. It is what it is, brother. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But my name has been called plenty of times. So with that, we're going to get this show started. I hope y'all stick around. And we're going to be in and out here. In and out. Because it's very simple. Now, this show, it will be firing some shots. I got to tell you. You know what I mean? But I'm only going to verify what I'm saying with facts. There will be no interpretation on my part. I will not say guess. They may be able to interpret some of the lessons to break them down. But what I'm going to say, I'm going to do my best to stick to the script as laid down by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's what I'm going to do. All right? With that, family, all is well, all is well, all is well, family. So first and foremost, let me explain this for those who aren't Moorish Americans or those who never been to a temple. We know there's a lot of people that proclaim their nationality or that adopt the Moorish faith that may have never been to a temple, especially down the South. There's not a lot of temples down in the South, but we're working on it. So as Moorish Americans, what we do is, first we praise to God, whom we call Allah. Whenever we're speaking people and we're trying to lead them in the direction of what is right, first we want to do praise to God, to Allah. Allah is no mystery as it relates to some God that's separate from what you've been praying to. I'm talking about the God when you are in dire strait. I'm talking about the God when nothing seems to go right. I'm talking about the God when you feel like you're trapped, you're broke, when you're whatever you're going through, and you just say, God, help me. We're talking about that God. We're talking to. Well, the Moors call that God. We're talking about that God that don't really come with a name, but we choose to call Allah, God, Allah, to give it definition and to define what we're talking about, to separate it from the ambiguous terms. Yeah, I'm getting shot. But that's what we do. So Allah is no different than the causeless cause, the rootless root from which all things is grown. It's no different than that spiritual entity rolling, keeps you moving, that keeps you with hope, faith in your heart that things gonna get right. So I rise and give praise to Allah. I give honor to his noble, illustrious prophet. Now, again, I say that you may hear me say Prophet Noble Drew Ali quite a lot. I'm not saying Prophet Noble Drew Ali quite a lot, because he is God, Allah, representative on earth to me. Without his divine preparation, I wouldn't be able to confer or to talk to you like I do today. There wouldn't be no doctrine called Moorish science if it wasn't for the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So I give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So a lot of times when you hear Moors keep referring to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's not that they're worshiping the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's that they are honoring him. There's no difference when a person who said that gives honor to somebody with that have created something. You honor that. So with that, I give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I just want to explain that. And I try, and for the show, I try to keep it brief, but I honor, and then we honor man, because it seems we learn in the Moorish Science Temple of America that when you honor man, woman, you honor God Allah. So we give honor to all things within creation. Most importantly, we give honor to the things, the people, and all that consists with uplifting fallen humanity, because surely by the token of time, we are lost. Honor to those who are working, to those who are working to uplift fallen humanity in the purest sense of the word. With that, I don't want to take up too much time because we're going to get straight into it. Some people going to get their feelings hurt tonight. All right? They're going to get their feelings hurt, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. Don't worry about it. They're going to heal too. We're going to heal them too. But they're going to get their feelings hurt tonight because a lot of people got a misconception what Moorish science is. But we're going to fix that. With that, I want to bring my brother, my brother Sharif Anil Bey into the chat. Islam family.
Islam, brother, man. Islam. World TV. What's good, big bro?
Brother, I thought you weren't going to get in for a minute. I'm glad to see you in because this topic here is one of them topics that is so basic, but people tend to make it so complex. And I think that you are the surgeon that can tear and rip this apart and sew it back together with me, brother. I give you honor for joining Moorish World TV tonight. Come on in the chat, brother.
Yes, sir, brother. I want to first rise and give praise to Allah, and I want to give honor to this prophet, the last prophet in these days and times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to give honors to everything that you gave honors to at the onset of the show. I would definitely want to give honors to the listeners and the viewers as well. I think this is a very important topic, very, very important topic. One of the things that a lot of people in the conscious community and just outside of the Moorish movement say to criticize the Moorish movement. They say, well, it's all this confusion. Y'all can't get it right. Y'all, some people saying this, some people saying that, some people, so they point at the apparent lack of uniformity, as a major issue. Now, it is an issue. It is an issue. But the first thing they need to look at is the fact that this is the first organization designed to repatriate our people in America. The first. Before you could even talk Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we call Marcus Mosiah Garvey the forerunner, but we do for specific reasons. But the fact of the matter is the UNIA got started in 1924 and the Prophet got started in 1913. That's just the truth. You see what I'm saying? So through all the nonsense and all the craziness and all the intrigue regarding this movement, and even coming from members inside the movement, it's still here. It ain't going nowhere. So you got to look at that. With all the craziness and stuff, it just makes sense that there'd be a whole bunch of craziness and just outright weirdness around something so valuable. If it wasn't valuable, you wouldn't see all this craziness around it.
Exactly. So with that, my brother, with that, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to pull up. So, brother, give you praise and honors real quick. Let me pull up this. I'm pulling up. You still there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here, brother, man. Yeah, I mean, like the topic, and another reason why it's important is because this is great. I mean, those that are even outside of the Moorish movement or outside of the temple that are students of the Prophet's literature and the Prophet's doctrine, when they look at what he wrote and what he laid down for us in 1928, what's so crazy about it for those of us that are serious students is that it's more relevant. It was relevant then, obviously, because you saw the rise of the movement. But it's more relevant now in 2017 than it is, very nice, than it was in 1928. The prophet was truly prophetic. One of the quotes that he's reported to have said is that, he did this not for that generation, but for the children and the yet unborn, and that in the year 2000, the Moors will come into their own. So what he put down was for this time period now. And oh my goodness, when you got Europeans like Tim Wise, who openly state, European, speaker, public speaker, who openly state that in the 1800s, that during the time of the origins of so-called white supremacy, there was no such thing as white people. When you got Europeans saying this type of thing, saying that there were Germans and there were Italians and that there were Irish, but there was no such thing as a white person in the world. When you have Europeans openly saying this, you got to reflect back on the prophet's words where he said, I'm going to force the European to tell the truth. And it's happening right now, right in our face in 2017, man. It's crazy. And so people now, even if you don't like the prophet or you don't agree, you are forced to take a second look at this teaching and a second look at this movement.
Facts. Now let's get to the basics. We in the Moorish Science Temple of America do not believe in anything spooky. We believe, and I only use the term believe for the sake of communication, but actually we know. Believe, I want you to know that I know, because believing what man thinks is true. And I don't think this is true. I know this is true. So for the sake of this conversation, the Moors know. But for the sake of conversation, I'm gonna say believe, just in case you go super adab, so y'all want to keep correcting me. Believe what man thinks is true, whatever. Moors believe, this is a belief system we're talking about, that we was visited by a prophet. You may ask yourself, hold up now. Hold up for a second. Visited by a prophet. The only prophets that I know is the ones that we see in the Bible. Isaac, Abraham, and the ones that the Muslims that celebrate the culture and follow the Sunnah, which some was called Sunni Muslims, quote unquote Orthodox Muslim, and they subscribe to the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. What do you mean, prophet? The Moors subscribe to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, first of all, how do we qualify a prophet? First of all, a prophet is only qualified by the acceptance thereof. So, the people must accept him as a prophet for it to be validated. But when Allah sends a prophet, he's a prophet whether the people accept him or not, so to say. However, in order for him to do the work, he must be accepted by the people. But we feel as though the Prophet Noble Drew Ali because we accept him as a prophet. Now, if you don't accept him, it's kind of like Jesus said in the Bible, not many works can be done. Jesus said this in the Bible as it relates to the lady trying to be healed. He said he couldn't do much work in Jerusalem for the lack of faith. Same thing applies. Believe that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a prophet, then ain't nothing he can do for you. There's nothing that Allah can do for you through those teachings. But if you understand what a prophet is, not the spooky version, not the one that gets sticks, and I'm saying spooky for the sake of the conversation. Please, nobody get offended. Not the one that gets sticks and part great oceans and rivers and lakes and seas. Not that one. Not the one that talking the burning bush. And I'm saying this for the sake of conversation. Don't get it twisted. Moors believe that Prophet Noble Drew Ali was divinely prepared. What do we mean? We mean that his mind had evolved to a degree where he could understand what was necessary for our spiritual and social liberation, etc. Nothing spooky. Nothing spooky that his mind could pinpoint our problem by the will of God. He never say he seen an angel. He never say he talked to God. He never say, never. But his mind was evolved to the point where he knew exactly what we needed to develop not only our social economic conditions, but as well as our spirit. He knew exactly what we needed to evolve our spirit. So when you hear all of these scholars, so-called Moorish scholars, they're talking about history, they're talking about civics, they're talking about this, they're talking about that. Most of them leave out the spiritual development. May or may not have taken place in their life. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali comes to us with not only a national, what the word I'm looking for, he not only comes with a national solution, an earthly solution, he also comes with a divine solution to evolve our spirit. Now, Prophet Noble Drew Ali covered all bases by the will of God, by the will of Allah. And never, ever, ever, ever did he tell his followers that he talked to God face to face. Never, ever did he tell his followers that he was taken up in the whirlwind. We gonna go up on that apparatus one day. But he never was in public saying these things that you read or you may use to define a prophet. The brother mind just was evolved. So now, what is a prophet? A prophet, we say in the Moorish Science Temple of America, is a thought of God manifested, developed in the human flesh. Developing flesh, developing man. It's the thought that's evolved and ready to help man bring himself back into. Now, there's nothing spooky and crazy about this. Still me, and I'm still developing. I'm not putting on no airs for you. I'm not walking like I'm some super Moor. When you see me, you're going to see me. It is what it is. See, one thing about Moorish science, it does not to fake and bluff. Because if you do, it'll show. What chime in, brother Sharif?
Yes, sir. You was doing your thing, bro. I was sitting back enjoying. But you touched on a couple points that regarding Noble Drew Ali, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and his prophethood that I just wanted to touch on real brief. I mean, that which is understood need not be explained. We don't got to beat people over the head with the whole prophethood thing. So, I was definitely feeling what you had to say. But I just want to lay a few things on the listeners, in the viewer's mind as it relates to prophethood. The questions asked, what is a prophet? And in our questionnaire, and the answer is, a prophet is a thought of Allah manifested in flesh, right? Well, what's very interesting is if you look up the word avatar, AVATAR, right? And the definition of an avatar is the manifestation of a deity or released soul in bodily form on earth, an incarnate divine teacher. That sounds pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that sounds really interesting. We asked, what is duty of a prophet in our questionnaire? The answer is to save nations from the wrath of Allah. Now, this is going to be interesting for the listeners. in the conscious community, there's one word that sums up the major issue with our people, and that is what? Slavery, right? Slavery. Now, we've been accused as Moorish Americans of belittling slavery. Some go so far as to say that we had a hand in slavery, in the whole slavery business and all of that stuff. That's another topic for another day. I think we've already, decently addressed those. But here's the real issue. Everybody follow me. I'm gonna make this real simple. I'm quoting or paraphrasing my brother A. Hopkins Bay out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Grand Sheikah Temple number 11. When the Jews, quote unquote Jews, went into slavery, they went in as Jews and they came out as Jews. When the Japanese were interned in camps, Japanese Americans were interned in camps during World War II, they went in as Japanese and came out as Japanese. In fact, every nation of people or group of people that have been enslaved came out the way they went in. Except, you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We went in with a national identity and came out Negro, Black, colored, and all this other craziness. So what we submit is that we, due to our people being born without an identity, we being born in an age where we know nothing about our national identity, all we can see is slavery. But what did we really lose? What is the real significant thing that sets us apart from everybody else? What we lost was our national identity, and thus we lost the capacity to organize ourselves into a singular political community. Look at today, 2017. What group of people on the planet have all these organizations? Can't work together. You see what I'm saying? There's no such thing as a United Chinese College Fund. There is no such thing as a National Association for the Advancement of German People. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as civil rights acts for any other national group in America. I wonder why. So what we submit is that the real damage done to us that's infinitely worse than slavery is the loss of our identity. And so, what does, if a prophet is going to come to a people, they have to come to them and raise them out of the condition they're in and bring them back to the level of humanity and then set them back on the straight path. In Arabic, we say al-mustaqim, right? So what's the first thing that has to happen for that? In our case, we have to be restored back with our national identity. And there is nobody in the history of our people post-slavery that has brought such a thing than Noble Drew Ali.
Absolutely, Brother Sharif. And
Yes.
what's amazing to me? We will accept these stories from, and they're not saying we got to discount them, but
Right.
we will accept stories from 1,500, 2,000 years ago when we have something recent.
Right.
We can't even qualify of 2,000 years ago unless we do extensive research. We can't qualify unless we can qualify, but we have to do extensive research. We have a prophet that amongst us in our era of time that shows the extent of the damage which we suffer. Because we won't even hold on or latch on to something that is very obvious, what you just pointed out.
Yes, sir.
That our identity,
yes, sir.
No way. And if there any other people on the face of the earth required intervention divinely, it would be us.
Correct.
There is no group of people on the face of the planet Earth that would require, and I'm going to say as a group and a nation of people, personal intervention from God. There is none.
Right. Right.
That's so hard to understand.
That's right.
Man, we have to give it a chance because there is not a group of people that have. Come on, my brother.
You know what, brother? And just to add to that really quick, I mean, you touch on multiple issues here that are very important and pertinent. One of them is, the disbelief of our own people in ourselves and in our own worthiness. You know, that we would be worthy of divine intervention, number one. That's what gives rise to that whole thing of, oh yeah, that type of thing took place in ancient time, but it doesn't happen in modern time. As if technology all of a sudden just throws that out. All of a sudden, it's no longer valid that a people can have, that there could be divine intervention for a people. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, man, and then the other part is we. Like that's it right there. We really don't believe. Oh no, here's the other part: is the spookism part. See, in other words, we start talking about using words like spirit and divine. All of a sudden, we spooky now because So other people would be like, "Well, wait a minute. What do you mean divine intervention?" Well, here it is. Ain't nobody on the planet, no nation on the planet trying to touch us. That's just the fact. Ain't no nation on the planet trying to touch us. So how in the world would we get this knowledge without there being divine intervention? Someone sent to us, divinely prepared. People say, oh, y'all talking spooky now. No, why has it got to be spooky? Our doctrine teaches us that Allah speaks to man through perfect man.
Fact.
In other words, you ain't going to know God unless he or she comes walking upright on two legs talking. You see what I'm saying? So ain't nothing spooky about it for us. We know what it is, but see what it, again, praise Allah for the Prophet Drew Ali, because we can look at each other and see divinity. So we are not in the least spooked out about this thing. Go ahead, man.
And I want to add to that. Now that I feel as though that we have kind of scratched the surface of, because this is a topic that can go on forever. Now I think that we have scratched the surface on what a prophet. Let's talk about what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught. First of all, what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought to is a pamphlet. It's not a book, it's a pamphlet. Pamphlet called the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I've seen some of these antagonists that have fell off because they don't have the strength to fight in the cause of Allah. So they fight in their own cause, and they begin to make all of these crazy, all of these ideals as it relates to our book. The same people that was once on this channel, people that was once in the temple, the same people that fought tooth and nail, now they tend to speak against the doctrine, and you'll see them all over the internet. But the prophet knew they was coming too. The prophet said, if you lose confidence in your prophet, button, I mean, cease wearing your button, your turban affairs, turn your button and return back to the state. I'm paraphrasing. I'm messing up because I get wrapped up. You know what I mean? But take off your fez, take off your button, return to the state where the prophet found you. It means that you just don't have no more confidence, so you roll out. But most people in the Moorish Science Temple of America, they just don't leave. They got to leave, and then they got to come and antagonize. They can't just leave, because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught that I brought you something you can't tear up. So when they leave, they come back and try to tear it up, but ultimately it tears them up.
Correct.
You can see how their life go. Ultimately it tears them up. But this is the book. I use books sometimes, but it's a pamphlet. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought. Now with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, if you have seen these videos, I want to explain something to you. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a prophet of God, without a doubt. On page 3, this. I'm going down to I think it's the 4th, 5th paragraph. The reason these lessons have not been known. The Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed the secrets. This is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. We got people around the internet. The Prophet got the lessons out of here. When actuality, this person got the lessons from the Moslems of India, Africa, and Europe. So when you read the Inquiry Gospel of Jesus the Christ, best believe it says that he got this out the Akashic records. He got this from out the cosmos. No. It's what the Prophet Noble Ali said, and I stand on it, that the reason why these lessons in this book has not been known, Muslims of India, Africa, and Europe kept these secrets back, and for the first time in ages, they have been released to the Muslims of America. That's just what it is. Now, if you can't find those Muslims in India, Africa, and Europe, that's your problem. The credit to a European named Levi. Period, point blank. Don't get that. And when you start talking about the Unto the Eye Grant, that's another small book that comes out of the Far East. And these teachings are not new. These teachings are as old as man himself. The Prophet Noble Ali puts this pamphlet together to develop the spirit of us. No different. When you read what is called the Holy Bible, it is a compilation. There's many books that makes this one book. When you read the Holy Quran of Mecca, there's many surahs, chapters that make that one book. But let me tell you something. Nothing in there is new. The only newness in that book was what applied to the people in real time to solve that problem in real time. That's called earthly and divine salvation. There's a divine part and there's an earthly part. So when people was having problems and quarrels in the community, Allah sent a message to Muhammad to deal with it. To understand how marriage work in Arabia, Allah sent the message to Muhammad to deal with it. But then there's a divine point that's in the Holy Quran of Mecca that is universal and has been here before there was a title named Islam or Muslim. Those same lessons are in this book. Those same lessons are in this book. Are universal lessons. They always was and they always will be. There may be 100 million years later. Who knows that a prophet will come with the same lessons, maybe in a different language and maybe in a different approach, but spiritually. But then he will deal with the earthly people are dealing with, and that relates to who we are as a people in our situation. Because Jesus of 2,000 years ago could not address the situation of Negro, Black, and colored. That's that at one time we were enslaved, and then at another time, we called ourselves Negro. And then at another time, we went to colored. And at another time, we went to Afro-American, African-American. Jesus could not address that. That was the problem of his time. So who will address that? Who will address it? The Prophet Noble Ali addresses it. Muhammad could not address it. That wasn't an issue. And we know that is a major fall of our people, not having an identity. That's a major fall. So guess what people are scrambling and doing? People are scrambling for all sorts of identities. Whatever their religious persuasion is, whatever their social condition is, they are scrambling to attach themselves to something. That's why you have us, you go in some people's houses, they got more Chinese letters than they have Swahili letters. That's just an example. No shot to you, Brother Sharif. I know you know that Quran. You better not kick me. You get my point. And we adopt all these different cultures because we're searching for an identity. Prophet Noble Ali addresses that. Now, I'm going to let Brother Sharif take it, and then we're going to turn up, and we're going to talk about what is the Moorish Science Temple of America, because I think I've defined a prophet. I think I defined what he do. I think I briefly defined the scripture and what he brought us. Now we're going to separate the truth from the falsehood after my brother chime in. And what I mean the truth from the falsehood, all of these people deals that's running around masquerading as Moorish science or Moorish American Muslims. And I'm going to tell you what the separation is. Come on, Brother Sharif.
Brother, you had read something really significant on page 3 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You turn back to it. At the bottom, it talks about the industrious acts of the Muslims.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I want to bring out something there. Because
hold up, before you go, I'm ready, brother. Hey, I'm getting good with this stuff. Here we go. There you go, right there.
Right.
Let's go.
The industrious acts of the Muslims of the northwest and southwest Africa. They are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites, who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In later years, those kingdoms. These kingdoms are called this day Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc. Now, people criticize us often by saying, well, those names are biblical names. And that, for some reason, to them, means that gives them carte blanche to say, well, hey, well, if the Bible is false, then what you guys are saying is false, and it's not founded in any kind of science or any kind of verifiable factual information, right? All right. So let me share something with you all, people. And this is something I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir for many people. I'm sure I am. I hope I am. But if not, then, we communicate it to the ignorant for their instruction. How many of you have ever heard of the Amana letters or the Amana tablets? There are 382 of them. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir. I can see it, my brother.
There are 382 of them. These were records between rulers and administrators in ancient Kemet during the 18th dynasty, people. Guess what? One of the things that was reported in these letters to the pharaohs at that time, it talked about Joshua, son of Nun, who had driven out Canaanites, and these Canaanites had petitioned the pharaoh to settle further west in lands already ruled by ancient Kemet. So they can't use that, it's the Bible, so it's false, or they're using biblical names, so it's false. First of all, we're not using biblical names. We're speaking to names that are mentioned in the Bible, but they're also mentioned in actual records in ancient Kemet from the 18th dynasty. There you go. So I wanted to share that real quick. That was it, brother man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the thing.
I just needed to point that out, bro. That's all.
Bro, this is the thing. That was excellent, and I hope y'all take notes because this thing is so real. It's so real that if we can all get behind it, it's like this. Right now, and I might get hit upside the head with this when I go somewhere next Friday. Right now, the Moorish Science Temple of America can be considered the bad news bears of the conscious community. I said it. And the reason why we could be considered the bad news bears of the conscious community, because we can't seem to work together. And what I mean, I'm not talking about those in the temple where I'm preaching to the choir, or as they would say, preaching to the choir. I'm talking about those who lose confidence. And they do more destruction so much destruction in their path when they leave and get frustrated that the people who still have confidence, either they have 10 times as more work to do, or then they get frustrated. You follow me, Brother Sharif?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They leave. And we have so many brothers pointing out what they disapprove of, as opposed to being a man. I'm going to say it again. Being a man, sticking around and fix it. I said this to Brother Sharif. I say, brother, you know we have a problem. Whereas though, if we break this down, and I'm paraphrasing when I said, if we break this down on a small scale, and we put it in the terms of our family, and we let somebody, our brother, our friend, our cousin, our relative, or a stranger come in our house, and when they get in there, they're fine in the beginning. But then they come in, they want to change some things around. You start saying, hold up, it don't go like that. They get mad. And they say, you know what? I'm going to take over this house. The question becomes, do you get mad and leave your house? And let the invader destroy the house? And I'm not talking about a European. I'm talking about somebody look at me and you. I'm talking, do you let the invader destroy the house? When you say you believe in the prophet of God, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you don't let an invader destroy the house of Ali. You stay there and you clean the house until your last dying breath. Other than that, you're less than a man. You're less than a woman. You're less than a Moorish American Muslim. And there is no excuse for separating yourself from the house of Ali if you have determined in your heart that he's a prophet of God.
Woo. Woo.
There is no excuse. And see, this is the era now. And Brother Sharif, I was on the phone today with my good brother Ken Ubay.
Yes, sir.
And we was talking about this is the cleaning house period. See, this is the era now where we don't even have to clean house. People are exposing themselves. We got to do in our portion of cleaning the house, just demonstrate purity and love, and all is well.
That's right.
That's all we got to do. All we got to do. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brings us a solution. Now, let me move to the next stage real quick. Into the next stage. The next stage is this. As I said, you don't leave your house and then start doing something else. You clean your house, the house of Ali. Now, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, for family that don't know and family that do, he created the Moorish. About the Moors, Holy Temple of Science. I'm not talking about that because that's another conversation. He left us. Let me use this terminology because I know how y'all like to do. He left us with the Moorish Science Temple of America.
That's right. Right.
If I'm wrong, I want somebody to correct me. But he left us with the Moorish Science Temple of America. Anything outside of the now listen, I'm not speaking about no grand body stuff because my position is this. My grand body don't have no boundaries. My Moorish science don't have no boundaries. You can believe that. And I'm going to show you how to demonstrate it without confusion. Anyway, he left us with the Moorish Science Temple of America. I believe every sincere grand body is doing the best they can do with what they have to work with to raise it to the level that you think They need you to raise it to the level from the state where you think that it's falling short. Stop crying. Come link yourself. Come link yourself. If you think it's falling short, come link yourself. This is a holy and divine movement. I'm telling you where to go. I'm telling you, just go and link yourself. If you see that sign, Moorish Science Temple of America, check it out. If it ain't for you, walk out. If you feel love, stick around a little bit. Stick around a little bit, because Allah will take you where you need to be. But if you go in and you don't feel love, walk out. Walk out. But don't give up. Don't give up. Most likely it might be one a few miles away somewhere. Or hit me at taharkabay@yahoo.com and I can find you one where some love is in the air. And that's what we have to work towards, because our salvation is within the program of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And I'm going to say it like this. R. Jones Bey and the Moors under his leadership, whether it's Bailey Ill and the Moors under his leadership, Braswell Bey, whether it's Rasadi Ill, whether it's Kenyu Bey, and whomever I miss, whether it's the Moors, Dawi, under these leaders' leadership, you will know the building the moment you walk in. And love is the savior of the world. And if love ain't in the building, email me at taharkabay@yahoo.com and I will show you where some love at. But you don't walk away from a divine movement. The prophet says, he tells us. Now, I just named quite a couple grand bodies, but don't be alarmed. The prophet tells us right in his scripture that this is the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. He said this in a time when the temples wasn't even, or the bodies wasn't even separated. The time that we must come together. We taught that man ideal is his God. Your ideal has to be unity, as it says on the back of a Ali's Men t-shirt. Unity at all costs. Your ideal have to be unity. If your ideal is not unity, you're about destruction. You don't go on a YouTube channel and spew two-sided, splitting hair remarks, pulling people away from a holy and divine prophet because you disapprove of what some of the followers or make-believe followers or supposedly followers have demonstrated. Heck, they don't know the truth. They just as blind as the one that you call Negro, black in color. Get up in there and straighten them out. Come on, Brother Sharif.
That's a powerful demonstration, bro. I mean, it reminds me of the question, you know, the last part of the conversation that we had with Dr. Wesley Muhammad. You know, it was a conversation he and I had earlier, you know, at an earlier time about how difficult it is to be a male member, to be a member, period, in the Nation of Islam and rise up in the ranks, and all the intrigue and all the politics and all the craziness that you have to deal with. And I had told him, I said, bro, we do the same thing in the Moorish Science Temple of America. And then we both talked about how that pressure makes men, and it makes the type of man, you know, that can put up, that can adequately carry the weight needed to actually uplift fallen humanity. I mean, let's think about it. Let's keep it a buck. If I'm a bend and crease and fold like a piece of paper because somebody said something crazy about me, even if it is true, how in the world am I going to be able to uplift my brother or sister? Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? How much do you got? How much abuse? I'll put it like this. Our Quran teaches us that there's no amount of good that doesn't come without its own balance of evil, right? So there is no notoriety that comes without its own balance of negative notoriety. The question is, are you strong enough to deal with it and still get the job done? That's the test. So being a member and the ability to stick and stay in this organization is the test. I like how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it. He said, if I need if I want to use a piece of wood or a board to build a building, I put up it against the wall and put my foot on it and put some pressure to it. If it breaks, what does that mean? That means that wasn't the piece of wood I needed to build the building.
Exactly. Okay, my brother. So I get to roll it a little bit, and a brother said we give half of the story. Brother Dr. Moore, this is for you, good brother. Dr. Moore says that we give half of the story. And I respect what you're saying, brother, because you've never been on the platform, and if you have, you'd have missed some of the shows. But I'm gonna upgrade you. I'm gonna upgrade you. Hey, brother, please don't use the WTF, brother. We men. Come on, stop that. Say we shouldn't use these type of words for no reason. No reason. There's no reason for that. Come on, we intelligent men and women. Let's stop that. So, Dr. Moore, you say that I'm gonna find it real quick. What you said something to the effect that the Moors. Let me find it real quick. Dr. Moore, what is it you speak of? He said, "We're the American Moors. Y'all give half of the story, brother." Let me explain something to you. Because I don't know what you heard, but I'm going to read something to you. And I want you to listen real good. Your guessing is wrong. When you say we tell half of the story because you're saying that the Moors, America, basically what you're saying, brother, you're not saying nothing new. About to give it to you. The divine origin of the Asiatic nations. I hope you're listening, brother. This is out of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of their higher selves and their lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for the teaching instructions of all Moorish Americans, etc. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. The Moorish, who are descendants of the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca. The Egyptians, who were the Hammatites, a direct descendants of Mizraim. I'm going to go all the way down. Verse 5. Okay? It says the Asiatic nations, countries of North, South, Central America. The Moorish Americans and the Mexicans of North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, Chileans, and South America. Colombians, Nicaraguans, and natives of San Salvador and Central America, etc. All of these are Muslim. Brother, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali covered that years ago. That these people, he said, we are descendants. He didn't place us in northwest, southwestern shores of Africa and leave us stuck. He said we are descendant. Grow out of. We come out of. Some of us was bought by ships here. Some of us was here. What's the big deal? We know this, brother. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. Moors begin to talk about the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa. Why? Because that's what the prophet put emphasis on. When you read here on the nationality, Constitution and bylaws, it says right down here, it says that The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. We follow a divine prophet, and he put emphasis on that. But that is not to rule out that our people were here and they are also descendants of the Moroccan Empire. That is not to rule that out. See, what happens is, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. What happens is people take these little bits and pieces and they make a movement for themselves. Again, to talk about they're indigenous. That's fine, but that's only half of the story also.
Right. But hold on, brother. Let me touch on that indigenous thing. First of all, the term indigenous does not identify, describes a condition. It's to the point where, you know, our people, yo, this is crazy. You know, and without, I don't want to be disrespectful, but a lot of this stuff, I mean, we take this personal. And why do we take it personal? Because we ain't hustling it. We're not making money off of this thing. We raise our children and our families off of this. So, of course, we take it personal. So, but that being said, you know, that whole indigenous term is not an identifier, people. It's a descriptive term.
There you go.
Right? Now, here's the thing. Most people you've met in your life are indigenous to some part of the planet. So that ain't telling you nothing. When people will start running that whole, well, I'm indigenous. Indigenous to where? Oh, to America? Oh, okay. All that shows is inhabitants. Nationality is a political term. It's a social, ethnic, and political term. That's just what it is. And inhabitants does not show the relationship really to nationality. Your nationality does not depend upon landmass. Nationality determines political status. That's why chapter 47, verse 7, it says their dominion and inhabitation. In other words, we weren't just here, but at a point in time, we ruled. Today, all we have is inhabitants. We don't have dominion because nations rise and fall. People just need a basic education, bro. For real.
But Dr. Moore, I'm going to give you the number that you call in. I just want you to be respectful when you do call in, because this is a teaching moment, brother. Because I know you say we talking religion. No, we not.
Yeah, tell that brother to call in. Tell him to call in. Stop scrolling on the chat line.
You're going to learn the difference. Brother, you can call in that number right there. I'm not answering the phone unless it's Dr. Moore. I want to talk to Dr. Moore because, brother, you have a misunderstanding. Brother, but see, I don't like you using stop the BS, brother. Come on, brother. Oh, I want you call in, brother, because you're better than that. See, your teacher should have told you that that's not cool. WTF, BS. The teacher should have told you, brother. No, what's all that for? Islam family. Brother Conrad, hold up, man. I'm trying to get Dr. Moore on the line, brother. Okay, I call back. I got you, brother. Okay. So I'm trying to get Dr. Moore on the line because, brother, we can have a good conversation and we can learn if you want to learn. Islam family. Dr. Moore, how you doing, my brother? Now let me clarify real quick. Let me say this, brother. No, brother. I'm gonna give you the floor. Let me finish.
Thank you, MST, because y'all always uplift and we're not from the slave story. Y'all let us know that we have courage and we didn't come from that weak stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say, brother, in order for us to have a diatribe, a conscious, intelligent conversation, we got to go one at a time. We can't get all worked up. You know what I mean? I see you in the chat with the BS, with the F. This is just understanding, brother. So let's just say your spill. I'll say mine. Brother Sharif will say his, and we'll have a conversation. It ain't no reason to get all worked up and angry. What you angry about? You understand? It's okay, though. We're going to work through this. Let's work through it. Can we work through it? On the topic where you said that something, and I'm gonna use your term, the BS Africa stuff, whatever the case may be. That's where where we're going to start at. So first of all, I'm going to put it down here, and I want to say, introduce yourself to the people. Tell them where you're from, my brother, and let's be respectful with this conversation real quick.
Now, talk from you. You taught me, man. Trust me, I watch all your shows. You taught me how to be respectful. I'm not gonna get on here and stupid Negro science stuff.
Yeah, because it ain't that serious at the end of the day, brother. We all trying to learn, and we trying to get to the point where we can unite and get our liberation right.
Just lifted me, but 1,000 times for my great nationality guy that showed me that Moorish science is a national front. Sharif, they just put on the show that it's a national front to get us back to nationality. So for y'all not to put American Moors, there's more people from here than Africa. You have had 50 shows and you have not talked about us once, and y'all run from us, man, and that is rude.
Okay, brother. Let me tell you something real quick. From the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, do you understand what Act 6 say in the Constitution bylaws?
Every last law there is. I understand, but I'm not going against that. I'm just talking about, can y'all just please give us just a little credit?
But no, you saying us as if you're separate from us. We are the same people, brother.
No, we're not when y'all don't talk about us. And y'all say everybody is from Africa, everybody is...
I never said that to you, brother.
Cool.
I never said that to you. You keep putting that on me. I don't believe all of us came over on this slave ship family.
I know you don't, but you never talk about it. And you had at least 100 shows, and all of them stick with Africa. And none of them stick with the Americans. Y'all stick with the Africa, Islam, and all.
Hey, brother, can I ask you a question before I let Sharif come on?
Oh, that's all first. I couldn't talk about Islam without y'all because y'all the first and y'all the mighty ones. But some of us ain't like y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? But we are y'all.
But listen to me. We follow the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in his laws, divine laws, he said the Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern, southwestern shores of Africa. It's only right that we perpetuate that. We follow the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's not strange.
Hey,
I see if we was following somebody that said, okay, the Moors are descendants of the indigenous people of America. No, the indigenous people of America come out of the interior of Africa. Great earthquake.
Hey, see now, when you go there, I'm glad that you let me talk and spread my peace like you always do. And you remember, I always was Negro Science saying this is the only show that a person will let call in and speak they speak.
Yeah, you good, brother. But the thing is, brother, we are all one people is what I'm saying. You know.
I keep switching that up, sir. Come on, man. Let me just say this one thing. You keep saying that in 1400 to 1500, 1600, that there was a great nation called Morocco in Africa. Cool, I'm cool with that.
That what?
White people coming in Africa taking these slave people, but they was asking us to do it. Remember that? You know that's all that goes. But how can y'all just leave out the Moors from over here like we were helping y'all? And how can y'all put yourself with the slave Moors, man? Y'all gotta tell a bigger story, man.
Brother, we're not leaving them out. Brother, let me say this. We are not leaving them out. We are following the narrative as it relates to descendants from northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. But in our Holy Quran, it speaks to the fact that these people that you're speaking to are the same people. We're speaking to the doctrine as laid down by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Brother, we're not leaving anybody out.
Okay, so just two questions. When did the first one did the Moors of Africa or over there come over here?
Say it again.
When did the Moors from Africa come over here?
Brother, we got plenty of documentation. They came before Columbus. Those was more.
See, you think I'm attacking the African Moor stuff? I'm trying to put the American.
Oh, you want to know? Okay, Brother Sharif, can you hear the bro? I'm gonna let Brother Sharif take that, and I'm gonna pull something out real quick. Go ahead, Brother Sharif.
All right. Well, we don't have to go any further than.
I'm the one that gave you credit on all your stuff, bro. I'm like, you got our national front up. You do everything cool. Since y'all don't give American Moors no credit, and we have to back y'all, or it's all going to fail.
Yo, first and foremost, we don't have to go any further than the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 47.
Absolutely.
Egypt, the capital empire, the dominion of Africa. Now, I want the brother on the phone to listen very, very closely.
Let me screenshot it for the people too.
Right.
Chapter 47. Let me screenshot it for the people because I know where you're going. Because, brother, we got to get out of this separatism because somebody has taught you that we do not acknowledge that we are all one people in the real, literal sense.
And do you know I'm a stalker? You know I stalk the Moors? I sit in my room all day, make a little bit of money, and I'm going to join. I'm going to join full-fledged.
But my brother, let me pull this up. Was that chapter 47, right?
Yes, sir.
Why can't you ever say something about the American Moors, bro? Because
that's what we're about to talk about. I'm about to show you. In our divine doctrine. Well, go ahead, my brother.
We love y'all, man.
No, stop saying we love y'all.
But y'all teaching that
it ain't no y'all and we. Brother, you gotta get that out your head. You didn't drink the Kool-Aid with that one. It ain't no y'all and we. It's us.
It can't be us when we disagree.
We don't disagree. We're
not disagreeing, brother. There is no disagreement.
You drank the Kool-Aid, and we're gonna try to get you flushing out your system right now. Come on, brother Sharif. Listen to this real quick. I hope you're watching the screen. Come on, brother Sharif. Where you at?
I'm right here, brother, man. So I don't even have to read the whole thing. Yeah, let's just skip. Well, first I'm gonna talk about the title. No, go back up, brother. Go back up. No, you went too far.
I'm waiting.
Okay, talk about the title right there. The main words I need you to focus on, brother, are the words empire and dominion. Those are political terms, not terms of natural geography. So we've been so miseducated, we don't, on a number of things, or certain things have been left out of our education. When we hear the term Africa, we literally think that continent or the way it's been carved up since 1883 via the Berlin Conference. Our minds don't even go past that. You see what I'm saying? And so we need to look at it as it's given, as in the context is given. Egypt and Africa are given the context. The context is empire and dominion. Those are political terms, brother. Now let's skip down to instruction 6 and 7. I can quote it. The Moabites from the land of Moab will receive permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit Northwest Africa. Northwest Africa. We're not necessarily talking about the continent, brother, or limited to the continent. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourn from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Now, brother, we get to the meat. Instruction number 7. It says, their dominion. Can you scroll down, brother, so they can see it? Like I said, I can quote it. There it is. Their dominion and inhabitation extended from Northeast and Southwest Africa across the Great Atlantis, even into the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands before the Great Earthquake, which caused the Great Atlantic Ocean. In other words, during that period of time in our empire, brother, even we didn't separate. The Atlantic Ocean couldn't separate our people, brother. We recognize that our people on this side of the Atlantic and on that side of the Atlantic were one people. And guess what, brother? Guess what? Even as late as the 1500s, in other words, the 16th century, we presented a map. I'll put it up here so you can see it. We presented a map, brother, where the Spaniards demonstrated that at that time period, the year was 1525. They still recognize the eastern seaboard of the United States as African dominions, brother.
And let me say this, brother, Negro Science. Brother, because you have a passion about that portion of the teaching, you are supposed to join us and perpetuate that.
No, I like winning. What I mean by it, like
because when you say they and us, there's division right there. But because you love that part of the teaching, we need you to join us to push that part of the doctrine, not to separate and to say that you are different from me. They say, y'all say.
And when I see y'all debates, I love them because y'all get pure everything. But I just see Y'all lose because y'all don't bring the American side of the. Let me make sure I say this. The
Lose.
mythology of y'all just don't bring that into the story, and it leaves a lot of gaps, and it hurts us as a whole.
Brother, stop. See, this is the thing. That is why you need to join the Moorish Science Temple of America and understand that when we talking about a topic, we're not being insensitive to another part of the topic because it's all one and the same. So because you have been taught to edify one portion of the topic or one portion of the doctrine, one portion of the teaching, if we don't mention that portion that you have been infused with, you feel offended, which is insane, my brother, with all due respect.
I gotta agree. I have to agree.
You've been over subjected with just one portion of the teachings of more science. And that's one of the problems why we can't come together, because people take a portion of it and they turn it into a doctrine, and then they leave people with that one minor portion. And then they tell you that the temple is infiltrated and you never go to the temple and see for yourself.
I got one. I agree with a lot of what you did. I agree with that point but there's a lot of people that know how to write stuff down and research it and do a lot of things, and we don't judge or knock. They don't judge or knock. Try to implement and help out. But some of it is just so against the dumb and stupid Negroes, niggers, and all that other words, and the people that don't agree with y'all on a pro Mohammedanism level, y'all dog it too much, and we with y'all just.
But brother, listen to yourself again. Listen to yourself. Because the portion of which you understand, you are attributing that to be the total portion. You need to give me your understanding or give those that don't have yours. And then some people need to give you the religious or spiritual context. And we need to blend it to have a balanced measure.
And one thing I got to say, you always, and you see I'm not really a back down person, you always shut me up, man.
Brother, stop, brother.
Yeah, man, you see I'm very vocal, but you always say something that shuts me up. I need to come out. But man, all I say is, man, a lot of people, no disrespect, a lot of niggas look at y'all y'all just don't get the American of it, or maybe we just don't see something. But man, it's much love from Negro Science where everybody say I'm a troll and don't like the Moors. I love y'all, man. Y'all the only front that got me out of my blackness.
Brother, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to tell you again, brother, and beware. Beware what you buy into. It's a statement of prophet that can be enter. Beware what you buy into. If you buy into a small portion, as if it's the totality of the doctrine, you are going to be imbalanced, and it causes confusion and division. And therefore, you are going to present your argument from an imbalanced point of view, and we're going to be arguing with each other as if we're different. We're not different. We're the same people.
I'm arguing on this one. You made a great point, and at the end, like, this is my fifth time on your show, and I always say, man, you get me at the end. But I'll hit you with this one. You only get part of the portion, too, because you don't give the American side.
No, listen what I'm saying. But guess what? If I hear you talk about the quote-unquote indigenous Africans here, or the indigenous American, whatever term you choose, I don't get offended because I didn't study my lessons well, and I am secure in knowing that those are my brothers and sisters.
First of all, there ain't no.
Every time, and Sharif, after that debate, that don't pull the gloves off, man. That's nothing, man. That shit will all of us Moors should wrap ourselves around is how to get that nationality, man. You look straight like a white counselor on there doing that. That was beautiful, man.
Bro, he gave you an honor. So you look like a white counselor. I like that, brother. Hey, Negro Science, where are you from, my brother?
I'm from Ohio.
Brother, I'm gonna tell you what, brother. I'm coming to Ohio soon. When I call this brother, I'm gonna call him tomorrow, brother. He's trying to bring us out in Ohio, brother. But I'm telling you, brother, we need all hands on deck. The prophet says enough work for all to do. So because you excel and you are very passionate about the quote-unquote indigenous aspect of the Moors, intelligent to the temple, because the prophet...
Man, I hate that, man. You always bring that... Oh, you good, man. Islam, man. Thanks for this. Thanks for letting me speak my piece.
The prophet created the temple, so I believe the foundation of our salvation and liberation will be coming out of the temple. We need all hands on deck, brother. Spooky. So you got to be there to stop brothers from making it spooky too.
I can't go against you, man. All I can say is Islam. You correct, man.
Islam, peace and love. Peace and love. So my brother Sharif, I think that was a good dialogue. I didn't know that was Negro Science because he went under another name, Dr. Murr. And that's good because I told him I was going to get him to take that Negro Science off.
Sure. But again, I just wanted to reiterate. I want to reiterate that you know, even in ancient time, I mean, if you just look again, this is a good lesson for Moorish American members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Know your literature. Your literature shows you how to think. You know, it literally does. Know your literature, man. Know your basics, because we didn't have to leave chapter 47, verses 6 and 7 on that one. You know, didn't even have to leave it. It's right there. There is no difference. See, in his mind, there's a difference. Only in his mind. Because we say inhabitants of Africa. Yeah. The prophet teaches on us being inhabitants of Africa, right? And but in his mind, that means continental Africa. You know what I'm saying? And not as it's spoken of in our literature, which is dominion of Africa, which at a particular point in time included the eastern seaboard of the Americas. And we could support that with actual history. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's important to know your literature, man. Know your study. Be a craftsman, That's why I salute my brother Ishmael Bey,
You go, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Nah, that's why I salute my brother Ishmael Bey. He's not a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, but he knows his craft. You know what I'm saying? He's sharp with what he has, and he knows it well, and so we have to be, those of us that are members of the organization, know your literature before you start going out trying to get all types of wild books and all types of wild this and that, and looking at all types of wild YouTube lectures. Know your stuff first. You know what I'm saying? Know your stuff first. That's important because what it does is it shows you where to look when it's time for you to look for supporting evidence. It shows you how to look when it's time to look for supporting evidence. That's what it does.
Hey, my brother Hakim Bey say Ishmael going to be a member in June. He proclaiming. Praise the Lord. But you know what? Brother, you ain't the only one that said that. I'm going to leave it at that. But to my brother Sharif's point, the problem is that these people that want to be leaders, they would take a portion of the prophet's teaching and run with it. And those who follow them, whether it be for 5, 10, 20 years, they put so much emphasis on that portion that the followers think that's the total teaching. And so they begin to argue with one another, such as us. But anyway, who is this on the line? Who is speaking with?
It's Quincy Robinson from Dallas, Texas, man.
Islam family.
Islam, Chaka.
How you doing, my brother? What's going on with you? Talk to the people.
Oh, man, I'm just driving, man, working, man. I had a question, man, for Sharif, man. I heard him talk about the old maps. I try to see where can I get the old maps, man, showing, what he was talking about earlier, the old maps from the United States, from America.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, I appreciate the question. I appreciate the request, brother. It ain't mine. It's all of ours. So if you're on Facebook, brother, man, shoot me a message, brother, and I'll send it directly to you.
You got that, brother?
Send it to me, man.
Absolutely. Brother Sharif will hit me, and I'll hit it right to you. This is the brother always hit me, brother. Bro, we rock it out. I got you, brother. Hit my inbox right now. Hit my inbox right now, and I'll make sure you get it, brother. Just as a reminder, all right?
He's about to have it in a hot second. Hold on.
You got
to get it to him right.
Yeah, I appreciate the talk, man.
Islam, my brother. Absolutely, brother. We're going to win. Matter of fact, we ain't going to win. We already won. We just need to come together and just do the work.
Oh yeah, hey man, I'm down. I'm you know, we already coming together. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about anybody else, man, but you know, so yeah, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Sharif.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Likewise, brother, man.
I got you, brother. I'm gonna send that to you. Now, I want to take a pause for the cause for a second. Fam, I'm asking y'all, please support the Moorish World TV Tour. I got a price up there. It says $25,000. I'm not worrying about no $25,000, but you have to put a number up there, you know. And I need y'all to support it. Hold on one second. Peace and love, family.
Yes, me, Conrad.
All right, hold one moment, Conrad. That's my good brother, Conrad. Great support of the show. Thank you for your donation, Conrad. Real quick, I want to ask that everybody, if you can, try to support the Moorish World TV Tour. This is not a hoax. This is not trying to get your finances. It's trying to get us around the country to teach more signs, to bring some Moorish entertainment, because I'm going to spit some bars. Y'all know I got some bars. Don't play with me. And I'm going to tell you, brother Sharif got a few bars too. He be playing, but I shouldn't have told y'all that, because then y'all can ask to spit. That's right. Anyway, I need y'all to support the Moorish World. Let me show you something. We have an event that will be kicking off on May the 6th. And I'm going to begin to promote it real hard soon. On May the 6th, Hill, South Carolina. Rock Hill, South Carolina, at the McGritt Auditorium. We got Sheik 7. We got my brother K. Alindale. We got my brother Sheik Portazil. And we got brother Sharif Anil Bey. And I need everybody to support the Moorish World TV GoFundMe. We never know what it's going to take. One of these brothers, as such as myself, may need lodging. I didn't give the brother a price on anything. I just said, okay, I do it. How about you, brother Sharif?
Yeah, bro. I didn't give him nothing. You there? Yeah, I didn't say anything at all. I said, listen, I'm there.
Exactly. So we need the support so we can go and set up. We need the support so we can do things not just here, but anywhere. You know, I got another thing that I'm possibly going to be demonstrating in Chicago soon. You know, we taking time from our family. Man, I'm telling you, this stuff is going to cost a couple dollars. In order to get this word out, it's going to cost a few dollars. So any support will be all right. And also, you know, for me to put all of this stuff together takes a lot of time from a lot of things that I could be doing elsewhere. As we said, the more science, the more miracle, we could be somewhere else doing something else. So any support will help to offset some of the expenses. Trying to get this message out, as the Prophet Noble Drew Ali say, it takes finance to uplift a nation. And we know that. Even to get there, we need a plane, we need a car, we need some gas. I need me I like them old them waters, you know, them old waters, them good waters. The little square ones, you know what I'm talking about. I like them old square waters. See, it's the name of them, but I love them. You know, I like them waters. They're like $2 a pop. You know what I'm talking about, Brother Sharif? What they called?
What's that again?
The waters come in the square ones. The square ones. They alkaline waters, but they come in the square. Oh man, they good as anyway. That's another story. But I like them old waters, man. I might need them on the road. Y'all need to help me out with that. So I ask y'all to support the Moorish World, Tour GoFundMe. Brother Islam, I'm trying to come to Vegas. I'm trying to Williams there. I'm trying to come to Vegas. I don't want to see the dancing girls. I ain't got time for all that. I don't want to see all that. I want to come teach some more science. That's what I want to do. But with that, we got my big brother, Conrad Compton's in the house from Compton, California. Everybody, Conrad. What's up, Conrad?
Hey, what's going on? So I got some information I want to give you. You gave me some useful information. I have something for you. But before I do that, is Sharif Bey on the phone?
Brother, he here. He waiting
Yes,
for
sir,
you.
brother. Yes, sir.
He got shotguns ready. So don't you come up here running up on nobody.
I got something I want to say to him. I just want to say this. I think brother Dr. Reggie won that debate. That's all I want to say.
Hey, brother Sharif, don't listen to that, brother Sharif. Thank you, brother. Hey, Conrad. On the low, I need you to keep this secret, right?
All right.
Whole debate.
Not the whole.
Okay, stop there. Good. Everybody go to live. But listen, coming next month on the reunion, I will be uploading the whole debate.
Okay.
And you'll be able to see, and then you can judge.
Oh, perfect.
They don't want that out, but I had a nice little hidden camera, and I got it.
Okay.
It's gonna be
First one to see it.
It may be in a few weeks.
Okay.
Because if it's get out, if we got some trollers here, they might release it before me. You know what I mean? So it's coming. It's coming. Okay. But anyway, come on with it, brother. But Sharif, right. We ain't gonna give that no attention. Let's go.
So all right. So remember we talked briefly before about Noble Drew Ali, right? And I heard Sharif Bey say something about he was the first organization to do so in terms of, I guess, he said something about that was the first organization of his time or something like that. But I just want to give you a name, and I want to give you I give you two names. I have a lot more, but I'm not gonna go into detail with it. But I just want you guys to you can write this down. But Josiah Ford.
Oh no.
We're familiar with Rabbi Josiah Arnold Ford.
I'll have you look at it.
We're familiar.
So Arnold, Arnold, and then middle name Josiah, Josiah, last name Ford.
We're familiar with Arnold Ford, Arnold Josiah Ford.
77, born in 1877, died in 1935.
Right.
And another name is
no, brother, stop, brother. You can't drop names. You got to tell us what you're trying to say.
Well, I'm just showing you associates of people who were influential and associates of Noble Drew Ali in terms of his business. How he built it.
No, he wasn't.
No. Hold up, brother. Now let's stop with Josiah Ford. See, one thing about the Moorish Science Temple of America, we don't let you get away that easy. You have to show us what you're talking about, or you can't keep. See, this is how we get confused and get into competition with information.
Okay.
Because people throw stuff out there and they don't qualify. I need you to qualify what you're saying, because this is a learning audience.
I can't give you everything.
Oh no, well you can't give us nothing. We don't
saying is, well,
nah, we don't play that in the Moorish Science Temple of America. We are revealed. The prophet said we call these sons revealers of the light. We reveal the light. We don't play trickery games.
He's a friend of Marcus Garvey. During that time, he was a friend of him. He sued him or whatever, and he worked for Marcus Garvey for a time, and he did a few other things or whatever. But he was they had a Moorish. Just like you have Moorish Science Temple, they had Moorish Hebrew temple. But they were Moorish too, but they didn't. They had I guess like Jewish stuff.
That's not quite true. Not about Rabbi Ford. Now about Rabbi Wentworth Matthews, yes, but not about Rabbi Ford.
Well, I just like I said, I just wanted to throw that out there, and you might know some things I don't know, but I just wanted to see what you had to say about that.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother. For real, comrade. no matter what a person may think about me, or Brother Sharif, or brothers that come on this channel, too much we haven't heard.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
That's why I'm one of the only Moorish platform that open up the phone line. Because we have nothing to hide, and there's not much that we haven't heard, and we can defend the teachings of the prophet if necessary. Hands down against anybody. It is. So you name another name, but you gotta qualify, though, good brother.
It's more, but anyways, I have some other sources, basically of some actual Moors, you know, from actually from Algeria. They had slaves. They were shipping some slaves. They didn't call them slaves here, but they were shipping slaves from like Morocco and Algeria to New York. You know, up until like maybe 1895, they were shipping them there and stuff. But those brothers actually knew some people who were like Moors directly from the continent and from the islands, you know. So that's all I want. I just wanted, you know, you guys might know a little bit more. This isn't something I sat here and my field of study is something different, but I accidentally stumbled upon that.
But brother Conrad, thank you. I appreciate that, brother. But you
Right.
know, our prophet Noble Drew Ali said that all people suffer slavery by not honoring the principles of foreparents, in other words, and I'm paraphrasing. We don't deny the fact that people of northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa participated in the slave trade. So when people say, my problem is when people say the Moors sold Africans, they acting as if the Moors are not Africans, which is a misnomer, which is foolish. You know what I mean? That's a silly thing to say. But whether it was the Moors of North Africa, the people of what is Liberia now, known as Liberia territory, whatever the case may be, that our people participated.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But we cannot demonize and say the Moors as it relates to what you see today in a brother wearing a turban or fez, because for fact, we are all descendants of that region for the most part. And I'm not going to say us all, I'm going to say for the most part, majority of us are descended from that. But nationality, that per se.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So to try to, but what that is that's a Mickey in the drink, so to say. They used to say that when I used to drink back in the day. And put a Mickey in the drink. They try to demonize a Moor, just like when you and I first met, and you said, well, the Moors in Morocco, they don't do that. I mean, the people of Morocco, they don't call themselves Moors, they don't wear themselves fast. Well, I'm telling you that those are people that are Johnny-come-latelys. They don't understand ancient Mauritania and all that. They actually try to.
Actually, a lot of them do. They know it. They might still be, just like here, you know, some people still racist, even though they know that, you know,
exactly.
was create a country. But they know. Can I share one more thing with you?
Absolutely. But you know what you just said, one of the key words, even though they might be racist. Who started to be racist? The Moors never were racist. The people of the continent of Africa was never racist. We always went to try to better things wherever we went.
Mm-hmm.
We were never racist. So when you say they are racist, you know who we talking about, right?
Oh, exactly. Well, they have, you know, people. It's a mixture of a whole bunch of different types of people.
Yeah, you better believe it. But what you was like to say, brother?
Huh? Okay. So what I was gonna say is, you know, they have a lot of, you know, it's sad, but they have, you know, like I said, I support you. Like when you do, you know, while you doing your thing, and one day, you know, go to Morocco or whatever. Like I really support that as well. But I recently, you know what I'm saying, like I met somebody and they going to Morocco to go study the culture stuff. And it's sad, but a lot of those programs, it's like hardly, you know, no brothers in that, you know. So I just think that for some of you guys out there, you guys might have family members and stuff like that, you know, but I think that we should really take some steps to really go there and learn, you know, learn all our history and everything. That's all.
Hey, brother, comrade, I definitely.
The resources are out there, but it's just not a lot. They need more people, I think, like yourself, that need to be really involved with that stuff, because that'll strengthen everything else, I think.
And comrade, I definitely agree with you. But let's remember that Moorish Science Temple of America, as it relates to public, is really on an upswing again. You know what I'm saying? Like the Moors have been around forever. You know what I'm saying, brother? I used to watch brother Sharif. I can pull some out, but some old joints, some old joints. So it's been around, but now it's coming to the point where as though we're saying, okay, enough is enough. Enough is enough, and now we are going to flood the public with authentic Moorish science. We're going to flood it. Until the last breath leaves me, we are going to flood the public with authentic Moorish science. So by next year, we will be going to Morocco on an expedition led by no other than Azim Hopkins Bey. And I said it, brother, and you ain't getting out of it. Peace and love.
Yeah, wait. One question for brother Sharif Bey. This is off the top of my head or whatever. This ain't no debate or nothing. Like, I haven't even researched it up. But what I want to know is, so if they had a Hebrew Moorish, I don't know the exact title, temple, or like a center headquarters, if they had that on the East Coast, and and in the same community, they have the one that Noble Drew Ali had. Where did the split come in with Allah and that? Where did the split come in, and why are they different? Two different religions associated with it.
That's a good question. I like to answer it. It's a good question. Well, first, you're talking about two different organizations. Okay, Rabbi Wentworth Matthews, put together what was called the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Moorish Jews in 1924 in New York City in Harlem. All right. Of course, there was an earlier Moorish Hebrew community in Brooklyn in the late 1800s, as reported by the Workers' Progress Association, the WPA. Now, what the Prophet set up was the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, he got started in 1913. I'll give you guys a little bit of history. He got started in 1913 in Newark, New Jersey on 181 Warren Street, Dixon's Barbershop, teaching. He was teaching in a barbershop. After 3 years of that, the numbers got large enough to where they could rent a space. They rented a location over a saloon on the corner of Rutgers and Market Street, downtown Newark, New Jersey. And on May 1st, 1916, they paid the rent, first month's rent, and opened up. And it was called the Moorish Divine and National Movement of North America. The location was called Canaanite Temple, and this was in 1916. My point, brother, is that. What happened, bro? What is it?
Because people really, brother, I don't even argue that point no more.
Right.
For advanced brothers, so to say, when brothers try to point out the point that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a part of the Canaanite temple, when we know that was the it's so much evidence to show that was the location.
It was the location, right. But my point with the whole thing with the Moorish Zionist temples is a different organization and a different idea. But instead of looking at the differences, first of all, there was no split because they were separate organizations.
Right.
So there was no split to begin with. That would imply that they were together. Secondly, the thing we need to really pay attention to is not the quote unquote difference in religious expression. You need to pay attention to the commonality. There was no argument between either one that we were of Moorish nationality. And that's the significant part, bro. Peace.
Okay. And that answers it all. Thanks. I didn't know all of that, And thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, my brother. Brother, I appreciate the donation, brother. You be looking out, brother. And we're going to get where we got to go before it's all over. You can believe that.
I'll be listening. Thanks.
All right, my brother. Peace and love. So, family, we're going to wrap this up in a minute. Let me see if I can get this to the brother. Oh man, that was the wrong thing. I'm trying to get the brother the link that you gave me. But what I'm gonna do is copy this image and I'm gonna send it to this brother before I forget. So okay, here we go. Hold on. Islam, who I'm speaking with?
Islam, this is Tramel from Brooklyn, East New York, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Hey.
Well, that's
Brooklyn.
my brother, Islam, big brother. That's my brother right there.
Islam. Brooklyn. No, but I get excited when I hear a brother from NY talk, man. They like if I hear from this from Brooklyn. It's not very talk to me, brother.
Oh, you still on?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I see you still on. I didn't know you were still on.
Yeah.
I had a question for Brother Sharif.
Yes, sir.
You too, Brother Tucker.
Come on, bro.
This Unto Thee I Grant and the Levi Dowling thing. Do y'all have any demonstrations dealing with that? Because I've been coming across a lot of people trying to say that the prophet plagiarized. You know the whole story. What people
Can I touch that, brother, man?
Come on, Brother Sharif, will touch that real quick.
Yeah, I mean,
talking about that earlier, actually.
It was.
Come on, Brother Sharif.
There was. I want to see. That's the topic of a show, brother.
Yeah.
I want to touch real briefly
That's my point. That's the topic of the show, exactly.
But I want to briefly touch on the first 19 chapters of the Holy Quran of Moorish Science of America, then talk about chapters 20 through chapters 40 or 20 through chapters 44, which is what you're referring to. So reportedly comes from Unto Thee I Grant. Well, first, actually, let me deal with that first. Since that was his question. Chapters 20 through 44, right, can be found also printed. Notice the wording I'm using. Also printed in an earlier publication that was compiled, not authored, by Lewis Spence of the Rosicrucian Society. Okay.
I came across that.
Now, and it was called Under the I Grant, but he himself claims that he is not the author, that it actually comes from an older Tibetan text called Infinite Wisdom. And then when you follow that back, see, if we want to trace, let's trace. Let's not trace 2 steps or 1 step. Let's trace it all the way back. So the Tibetan text Infinite Wisdom claims that it was a reprint from an ancient Kemetic text.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay. Appreciate that, Brother Sharif. But
That's
but that's a show. You're right.
So brother, we definitely going to do a show on this. And this is the thing. Remember what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. If you believe that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a prophet, then we have to follow the breadcrumbs where the prophet laid them down. We don't stop at no European and give them credit.
That's right.
That's insane.
That's right.
You're still a slave at that point.
Islam, that's right.
You know what I mean? And if you can't find the source which your prophet said exists, then you ain't working hard enough, probably. And if you stop at the European, cease wearing your button, cease wearing your turban and fez, and just return to the state because you lost confidence.
Yeah.
I ain't lose confidence. We gonna keep it moving, brother. Hey, brother, you know you're supposed to be coming on the show soon too. Stop playing, brother.
I got you, Tom. Anytime, brother.
And tell the sister woman I say hello, Islam. And I seen the little brother on Facebook. He was grooving for goodness. Who's the little baby? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's my youngest son. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, brother got the skills to. I seen him, man. He was doing that little dance. You know what I'm talking about? Send my Islam to the family, brother.
Always, man. Islam, man.
And that's the family there, brother. Bro, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
That's the family right there.
Oh yeah, I already know, bro. I already know. Yo, bro, I'm gonna send Islams to yourself, to your family, to your beautiful queen, everybody, bro.
Likewise, brother Sharif. Same here.
Yes,
All right, my brother. Islam, peace and love.
Islam.
So family, let's conclude this real quick in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So, Brother Sharif, what I was
Yes, sir.
trying to do with this show is I was trying to show that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali created the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Yes.
He didn't create all of these other organizations that is not predicated upon the Moorish Science Temple of America, meaning this. The structure of the Moorish Science Temple of America is detailed and specific as to how it works.
Correct.
Those who are operating outside of that,
Yes.
it's not the Moorish Science Temple of America, plain and simple.
Yeah. That's right.
Plain and simple.
That's right.
And those who wish to leave the Moorish Science Temple of America and do their own thing, that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
But don't give us a hard way to go because we choose to stick with it and fight it out.
Right.
It's not peace, love.
Peace and love. It's Brother from out Jersey.
Oh, that's my good brother Talinga. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good.
What brings you to Moorish World TV, good brother? That's my brother there.
Well, no, it was the brother, Dr. Murr, man, the brother, Negro Science. I wanted to actually share with him, and I want to also, just to warn other people, just so when they do their fact finding. But first of all, for the brother, Dr. Murr, I wanted to say that, there's an article. All you have to do is type in the search engine regarding the Cherokee and the Phoenician. All right, it's the Cherokee and the Phoenician. We know that the Phoenician, the title Phoenician is another word for Canaanite. They actually found some relation as far as manuscript and writing, and as far as the relation between the Phoenician and the Cherokee, right? So you can see that our ancestors, and were not only, we were global, you know what I'm saying, and we were here, but at the same time we traveled from another destination, as the Moorish Quran explains. And I've been in that paradigm that Brother Dr. Moore was in. As far as hearing different brothers saying, being like distancing ourselves from Africa. And that's only actually in the intention. The intention of that is only to have make more claim to the land here, and distance themselves. So it's basically almost to take advantage of the title of being Aboriginal or indigenous, so it can make your paperwork sound good. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? And also, for my brother, come back, I know what he's talking. A lot of the information a lot of brothers and sisters get, it comes from Dr. Email Bay's page, website. And because when Dr. Email Bay writes and he explains a lot of stuff, he puts everything in there where he finds. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people will post up certain things. Like months ago, a brother posted up something about, I forgot the individual. You could probably know that we're dealing with the the Ahmadiyya movement, and saying that the Prophet was over in India with the Ahmadiyya movement, and they had a picture of someone. I forgot. I can't remember the whole title, but the last name was Ali, and somebody had scrolled or scribed on there saying this is Noble Drew Ali, right? So we had to do a deeper investigation to find, and I don't know if it might have been you, Brother Sharif, that might have posted that up, or someone that posted it up with Ali's men regarding that, and we had to actually show the brother that, hey, it's not, that wasn't the Prophet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the same spirit, in a sense, because they were going through their situation, but it wasn't a Prophet. So a lot of individuals and brothers and sisters, when you do your fact finding, search what you find. If you go on Dr. Email Bay's website, make sure you go and research to verify what he put up there. Don't just take what he put up there and just push it out there. You know what I'm saying? Verify it. And he'll even probably tell you to go verify it if you don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, a lot of brothers and sisters, they'll pull from that website and they'll,
and just say, hey, you know about this one, and this, they don't know too much about behind that information. You know what I'm saying? So it causes a lot of confusion, when people don't fact find the facts that they find.
Fact.
That's right.
Islam, my brother. Brother Talik. The brother say he gonna join. What you think, brother?
Oh, that's beautiful. He needs, and he needs to join and, empty his cup, man. Empty his cup. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. So with that, brother Talik, we're about to wrap it up real quick.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, my brother. I'll talk to you soon, family.
Oh yeah, don't forget about April 22nd with the youth march if you want,
Brother, we're gonna talk tomorrow. We're gonna promote it on tomorrow's show too.
All right, that sounds like a good thing.
Islam, if I fail to call you, you know my schedule is crazy. But if I fail to call you, brother, you can call me while you might not be wrestling with the children tomorrow. It's gonna be snow outside.
I hope it's not, man.
You might be home wrestling with yours.
Yeah, man.
With that, my brother, I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow, my brother.
All right, peace and love.
Peace and love. So one more question. War Ready. I can't help but touch these topics. War Ready. My good brother War Ready. He was in here from the beginning. I gotta let my brother Sharif go for the sister woman bust me upside my head. Anyway, he was in here. He was in here from the beginning, and already said he don't believe that Jesus jumped up and came off from the quote unquote crucifix and traveled around. He said, well, it doesn't say that in the Holy Quran of Mecca. Well, it does say in the Holy Quran of Mecca and Surah An-Nisa, if I'm saying it right, 4:157. Ayat 4 verse 157, and they are saying, in quotations, indeed we have killed the Messiah Jesus, the son of Mary, the messenger of Allah, and they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, was made to resemble him to them. And indeed, now it's different translations. I just grabbed this one real quick. Those who differ over it are in doubt about it. They have no knowledge except they are following assumption. And they did not kill him for certain. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? It says that they did not kill him for certain. So if they did not kill him, do you think he just laid around for the next who knows how many years, or did he walk the earth? Already, the Quran tell you, and I just put it in the chat. The Quran says that they did not kill him. So if they did not kill him, what did he do after the fact? But already, what did he do after the fact? You think he just laid around? Or you believe that he rose to heaven? Bro, that doesn't work, bro, already. That doesn't work, because if the Quran using the term kill as it relates to a fleshly death, you have to look at the words and what you read in the Quran. Is it talking about a fleshly death or a spiritual death? What is it talking about? But that's another show, brother. Already, you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep, brother, because when we start talking about he didn't die on the cross because the Lord took him, that's still saying that physically, as we call death, it took place. Because once the spirit leaves, or you talk about that Allah take the flesh and the spirit. See, then we get into another, then we go to other places. So with that, I was getting to the show already. One love, my brother. We'll do a show on that one day, but I got a whole lesson on that. I'm pretty sure show Brother Sharif do too. And we correlated with the Holy Quran of the Moorish Temple of America as well as the Bible. That's Brother Sharif.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, so we can definitely get to that into a later date. But what I wanted to say, so we can wrap this up, is that what is Moorish science? Moorish science can be found in any Moorish science temple of America. Now, one of the important things that you want to do, you want to check the line and genealogy in which this Moorish science temple of America come from. At some point, there will be a connection to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali directly. No matter how many names that I named earlier, at some point, there will be a connection to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, the point is this, though. If you really want to know if you are practicing Moorish science, find someone you trust. Whether you trust them from their social media involvement or whether you trust them because you know them to be upright, one you trust and ask for direction. That's all you got to do. And because, as the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all things will be added unto you, if you seek in sincerity, the wrong way. And I have confidence in that. Anything in closing, Brother Sharif?
Brother, I mean, this is such a vast topic, just dealing with what the movement is and what it is not. Islam to Shawnee Levi Marsh Ill, with a question that they just asked in the chat. It relates to this whole thing, and they had asked a question about a particular act that reportedly came out of the Pan American Conference in 1928. And I said, they'd asked for documentation of it. I said, no such documentation exists because that act doesn't exist. And they were like, wow, and basically said that there's people out here with that information or misinformation forming, quote unquote, Moorish governments. And I said, in response, I said, yeah, we're throwing truth at, we're launching truth like a missile at that kind of falsehood. You know what I mean? Because what that is a confidence scheme. That's what it is. At the end of the day, you already know what time it is when people start telling you to open your wallets up and you ain't never met them before. You got to send money via PayPal.
We're dealing with modern day hope dream sellers.
But let me say this, brother, and I want to say this to the listeners. See, if you get duped or you get fooled or you get cheated, this is just what it is. In some shape, form, or fashion, even if you're unaware of it, you were complicit. There's a saying that the old timers have. There was a saying, and that saying goes, the success of the con man is dependent upon the greed of the mark. Exactly. The success of the con is dependent upon the greed of the mark. So you need to, you have to make sure what you're seeking is the right thing.
Exactly. And listen, we are going to return to this topic periodically, probably once a month. I'm going to try to, because I want to show you the fake licenses that they call right to travel. That is not more science. I'm going to show you the fake unity that rallies around this paperwork nonsense. That's not more science. I'm going to show you all the stuff that people use in the name of more science, and it's not more science. I'm going to show you that when a person sells dope, we don't say you cannot prosecute him because you don't have jurisdiction. That's not more science. Moors don't sell dope. Period.
That's right.
Guilty to selling dope because we don't sell dope. You are a Moor that went down that road and got hemmed up. Guess what Moors do? Take it on the chin. You got it. We take it on the chin. That's what real men do. Yeah.
Right.
You don't sit up there and talk about nobody got jurisdiction after you done sold things for addiction to further destroy your own people and humanity, mankind as a whole. So we anything in closing, brother. We up out here. Because I know the sister woman probably getting mad at me. She better not get mad at me because I'm going to see her soon. I'm coming to Syracuse. I'm doing a demonstration up there one of these days.
What?
Nah,
I'm looking forward to, brother. I mean, just to give a quick preview, I'm looking forward to hearing my brother and comrade Ishmael Bey answer some of the claims or that the brothers from Team Osiris, leveled against him. I'm anxious to hear about, to hear what he's got to say about that stuff, bro.
Exactly.
Like for real.
So Islam, I'm about to close out. And Islam family, where Ish at? Let me see if Ish around. And now I'm gonna log back in for a few minutes, and I'm gonna talk to Ish about some issues. Peace and love. Peace and love, family.